Well, good morning. Thursday morning here. I figured I'd make a video before it gets too hot. If you hear any noise, it's that construction site across the way I've been telling you about. Sounds like they're putting up the forms to pour the concrete slab for the building. Hear hammers and drilling and cutting and saws. So if you hear it, I apologize. I can't do nothing about it. I wish I could go over there and say, hey, keep it down. I'm trying to film here. Got my coffee this morning. I'm good. Got a few things I want to do today. One of them is planting or repotting this ginger lily. So I went to Lowe's yesterday and they have their clearance section of plants. I stopped by there, looked at a few of them, and I was actually on the phone with my mother, and I said, wow, look at this plant right here. She says, you know I can't see that plant. And I laughed at that. I thought that was funny. I was like, duh, you can't see the plant. Anyway, I picked up a ginger lily. Never had one before, but it was on the way out the door. You know, it's their half off, or it was more than half off. The plant is, you know, slumped over. It's still green, but it's the spring tropical plants is, you know, going out the door. So I went ahead and picked it up for $7. Not a bad deal. I'll show you what that plant looks like here in a minute. I also have a few other things. I'm not going to get to those today, but they will be coming shortly later in the future. Today's going to be a good day. Everybody says that when they have a cup of coffee. Oh, by the way, you like my mug? Had this mug for years, and it's pretty much my only mug. I had a few of them before, but this one's my favorite. Anyway, let's kind of jump right into it. I want to show you this ginger lily, give you a close-up on it, and we can kind of go from there. So let me pull you in and check out the plant. So this here is the ginger lily that I picked up, and I thought it was pretty cool because I don't have a plant like this, and I thought that the markings on the leaves were pretty cool because of the color. You have that green, and then you have that yellow, you know, kind of markings on the leaf. I thought that was pretty awesome. Another thing that I thought was pretty cool that I haven't seen in other plants, that kind of mimics grass almost. Some sorts of grass, not all grass. But you see how this is growing? How the shoots shoot out like that? And that's just one stem. One stem. Well, it's one stem, but they're just shooting out. I don't even know how to explain it. How like sort of kind of like some stairs or something. I don't know, but they're stacked. See how the leaves are? That's what I was trying to say. They're stacked. See how the leaves are stacked? I thought that was pretty cool. I don't have anything like that. And if you could see from the side, it's very narrow. That stem there, very narrow. And they just come up and they shoot out, and I thought that was pretty cool. And I said, you know what, I don't have anything like that. I wonder what it looks like you know, 100% healthy. As you can see, it has some dead parts on it that need to be trimmed off, cut off, and even pruned back to go ahead and give it some new life. So what I was going to do was I was going to go ahead and prune these back and repot it, put a little bit of Epsom salt in the soil, and then watch it grow. So that was the plan for today. These ginger lilies, you know, I was on the phone with my mother and she said, well, you know, you got to name the plant. I said, you know what? I'm going to name it Lily. And she said, no, that's your aunt's name. I said, well, that's also the name of the plant too. And she chuckled and she said, well, I guess her name is Lily then. I said, yep, it sure is. So this is a tropical season plant. Tropical plant. It likes mainly the summertime, you know. Don't like tropical plants in the wintertime. And it likes the morning sun. Not too big in the afternoon because that, I agree. I keep saying in every one of my episodes that Texas heat is not a joke. So the morning sun is quite bearable. It's still a little warm, but it isn't fully intense. As far as watering these peace lilies, they're tropical plants, so you want to keep the soil moist and not saturated, but moist. And you know, when you go to touch it, that first inch of soil should be almost damp. Not damp, but almost damp. So, like I said, moist, and also the humidity. That's why I have my pool back there with the water in it to keep some humidity in the air for my plants. Tropical plants are from jungles and tropical areas of more moisture in the air and a lot of sunlight, so you have to kind of mimic that environment for these type of plants. You know, fertilizing, just your normal fertilizer. I wouldn't do anything crazy. It's not a vegetable. It doesn't have to produce fruit, so a very light fertilizer will do for this plant. These do attract bees. There's something about the plant that bees are attracted to. I'm not sure what it is, but from what I was told, you will have this is a bee hazard plant. So if you have kids, you know, you might want to keep this plant away from anywhere close to play areas or areas of outdoor entertainment, because you will be disturbing some bees, and we all know bees are good. If you ever seen the Bee Movie, we all know what happens into New York City Times Square when all the bees died. So bees are good. And that's it. We're going to plant this thing, prune it back, and repot it, and watch it grow. Stay tuned. Okay, so first thing we're going to do here is let's prune it back. So I have my snips here, and pretty much there isn't any science to this. It's really to your own likings. Just leave a few leaves for the plant to be able to photosynthesize, or complete photosynthesis. That sounds better. That just pulls right out. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to look at this. So this is a shoot right here. I don't know if you can see that. This is one shoot. And it's all coming from the same plant. But I'm going to cut that entire shoot back. I'm just going to snip it completely off. Just get all of that out of there. Get that out of there. We're going to get some of these brown, just pull those kind of out. Pull those out of the soil, because all of it's going to grow back. It's going to all grow back once it's in its correct pot and it's pulling up the nutrients that we want. So just get rid of all that. These lower leaves down here, there's no need for that because when we repot them, they're just going to kind of get in the way. So you can cut those back as well. Pull those off here. That right there, it's damaged to me. I don't want that in my plant. It's going to grow another one. Cut it off. Cut that off too. And there's nothing wrong with going ahead and just pulling all that off. You really want this plant able to breathe a little bit. This is what it had to carry, and it was just a bunch of dead weight. And these lower leaves, the ones that I cut off, were more just getting in the way. Cut that off. Here's another one. All these lower leaves, we could go ahead and cut those off. So that's one stem. There's 2 plants in this pot. Okay? See that there? There's 2 plants here in the pot. And this is the one stem here. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to cut that off. On this other side, I'm going to cut that off. I'm going to cut that. And let's cut this one. Cut that off. Hell, let's just cut that one off and snip that one off. And that's what we'll have right there to start something new. So when I take that out, that's what I'll be taking out and planting into my the new pot. Now for this one here, same thing. We'll cut some of these lower leaves here because that's not what we're aiming at. We don't want the lower leaves because we want to repot it, and we don't want these leaves to pretty much get buried. Because I'm going to bury this a little bit deeper than what it is right now. Alright, pull this out, pull that out. And I'm going to cut 1, 2, 3. Let's see here. Okay, so you can check this out. This is another shoot that was growing. Good shoot here. I like that. But we don't need it right now. We don't need it right now. So, say goodbye. And I'm going to cut it low. They're like, oh my God, you're killing that plant. No, I'm actually helping it. I'm helping it because it had the root system to support all of that. And all that's going to do, these are going to die off here. They're going to get all mushy and you'll be able to just pull them right on off. But it's going to start to grow more shoots. That's what plants do. They just grow. All right. Doesn't that look better already? It looks a lot better. And you can see down here. You can see what's going on down here. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Now, I'm just trying to figure out what I want to get rid of. That's why I'm spinning this plant around like it's a DJ record plan. I'll leave those. So, this here is my end result. End result. I'm still thinking whether or not I should cut that. Yeah, let's cut it. Boom. So those are my 2 plants. And so when I pot them, I'm going to pot them together, but just in a slightly bigger container. And I'm going to plant them deeper so those roots can get down lower. All right. Where's my little bucket of dirt? Let's go ahead and get this in. Now, when you go ahead and repot these, you want to go ahead and loosen that dirt up around that pot. And then I use another pot to take that loose dirt and pour that into, and then grip my plant here. Doesn't want to come out. Come on out. Come on out. Come on out. There we go. That's not supposed to happen. But I might be able to pull it up like that. Okay. And see, this is a good time, like I say all the time, to look at the roots and see how they're growing. Perfect time for this. Because once you get in that dirt again, you don't want to pull it back out. You can see down here, look at that root system. Yeah. I would say this was pretty much bound up. Not sure. But it looks pretty bounded. So I'm going to leave that. I have my other pot here almost ready to go. Slightly bigger. I have some pebble stone, creek stone in here just to help with drainage. Where's my little shovel guy here? Here we go. And we're just going to mix up my batch of soil here. This soil has vermiculite, has cocoa peat, has earth worm castings, and topsoil. Now, before I was using potting mix. I don't like the potting mix. The potting mix has too much. It has stuff already in it. It has fertilizer already in it. It has peat moss already in it. It has mulch and just stuff that you really don't need extra into your container. Topsoil is a lot better. It doesn't have any nutrients, but it's a better medium for the plant. Now, what I did forget was my Epsom salt, and I'm gonna put Epsom salt in here. And what the Epsom salt does is magnesium sulfate. That helps the plant take up nutrients. So once I start watering this plant with my compost tea, the nutrients in that compost will be able to get pulled up into this plant because of that magnesium sulfate. And then this plant will look gorgeous. So I have my Epsom salt here, and I'm just gonna go and get a pinch of salt and sprinkle it in there. Maybe 2 pinches. Maybe 2 pinches. Get a little more dirt. Sprinkle that dirt on top of there, because you don't want it to get in direct contact with the soil, because that salt can burn the roots. And then we take our plant carefully, place it in there. Now I'm going to be burying this plant all the way up to here, about an inch, right here where this lip is of this pot, right here. That's about as far as I'm going up. And see, that was going to cover all the leaves that were there. So now that the roots are down deeper and they have a much wider area to go out and search for nutrients, this plant is going to do a lot better and grow a lot taller. So let's go ahead and fill it in with our good soil. Yep. Fill it all the way in. guys are really hammering it out over there. It's like they're mad at the board. Okay, so now that we have the soil filled up, I didn't tamp it down hard, but you might want to do that a few times. Now I could do this because it's a plastic pot. I wouldn't do it with the clay pot or a porcelain pot. You might crack it. And voila, there it is. New plant, ginger lily planted, ready to go. And the only thing left now is to water it. And when you water this for the first time, water it to where it drains completely all the way out until you see it coming out the bottom of the plant. That lets you know that you watered it fully and deeply all the way down to the roots and get all the whole plant wet. And then put it off to the side in a cool shaded area. Don't give it direct sunlight right away. We want the chance for the roots to get a little steam, and then in about maybe 4 to 5 days, maybe just go for a full week, then you might be able to transplant it into the full sun. But that's it. That is the ginger lily pruned back and repotted, ready to go for another 5 months. Well, no. Here in Texas, we got the rest of July, August. My God, it's going to be hot in August. September. It doesn't really get cold around here until about mid-November. October, mid-October, or the beginning of October. That's when it starts to get a little chilly, 55 degrees and a little bit lower. So we still got a lot more time here in Central Texas to grow, and this tropical plant should do well. So that's it. That's it for the peace lily today. Did I say peace lily? I'm thinking about my plants indoors as I'm thinking about this. That's it for the ginger lily today. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe. Leave me something in the description. In the comment section. Let me know if you're liking what you're seeing. You could also tell me where I went wrong. I don't mind a little bit of hate, is what they call it, because that means you're telling me that I'm doing pretty good. Keep watching though. Stay tuned. See you another day.